Hey. What up, everybody? All right, let's switch back over. Hey, what's going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? What is going on? We got some cool stuff in store today. Woo! All right. Yeah, from what you guys were saying in the chat, one of the things that I was thinking about asking too was like, what would you guys like to see? I got this beautiful S300 snow right here. Nice mid-tower chassis, vertical GPU mounting. Got a good amount of options for cooling for a mid-tower case. I mean, it's not one of the, ginormous full towers where you can run like ridiculous amounts of radiators and, stuff like that in there. But man, this thing looks clean. And one of my more favorite cases that we've come out with recently that, it's just kind of grown on me. It's been a nice build. Done a lot of builds in this case. So most of the stuff here for the stream today is to, just kind of give you guys a nice heads up if you're planning to look at building in our Thermaltake S300 Snow Edition. We also make this in black as well. So there's two color options for it. And it has a lot of great features in regards to the case. I mean, as far as if you want to do a nice solid AIO build, even up to like 360 mil radiator, it's amazing for that. It's definitely an amazing case for just a straightforward AIO build. Gives you the option for either standard or vertical mounting on the back, because the actual the PCI Express bracket back here, this bracket actually is rotatable. So in the stock configuration, as far as how you'd get it, it's basically laid out for vertical, but it does have the option to be able to turn rotate the PCI Express expansions on the back, and then you can just go in traditionally into the motherboard directly as well. What up? How are you guys doing? Yeah, let's see. What do we got going on? What is that thing on the wall? I don't know. I got a lot of things on the wall. No, we got, I've had a couple of things here in the back for a while that I've just kind of like held on to for like a good little bit from just all my fun little adventures, I guess you would say, with Thermaltake. I mean, this right here is actually the top piece of the Tower 900 concept build that we debuted at CES. And this was done by our good friends over at WaterMod. And they're the ones that did the initial concept design based off of the Core X series to mod it. And then basically with that, the Tower 900 was born. And this is the original top signed, the stamp one. This is the one at CES. I held on to that baby. I have some other stuff too that I want to put up. I got some more stuff I want to put up on the wall as well. I have a P90 back panel from Stuart Tonks when he did a P90 build for us. That was also at CES. I held on to that. I even got him to sign it. Great friend over there, man, over in Australia, Stuart. I miss him a lot, as well as everybody else. I mean, being able to not do an offline event and everything is part of why we're here at Thermaltake Live. So we can give you guys more content from the comfort of your home all over the world. How you guys doing? Yeah. Oh, you want to see? Okay, I'll show you the 3070. You hang on. We got it right here. It's not going anywhere. Oh man, what's up? PC Works. What's up, dude? Thanks for joining in. Yeah, so I mean, I got a lot of things going on. I mean, this other stuff that I have back here, I've been doing, just different things that have gone on. Like the water block that I have up on the wall, I actually took with me on vacation to Hawaii, and I dove with the board or with the block. The card wasn't a real card, but it was with the block with like our fake like PCB, or not PCB, but it's like just a fake PMMA type of like water block thing, so we can attach the block to. And yeah, I took that about 67 feet down off of west side of Maui, dove to a shipwreck, and I got these videos and some other stuff of the water block like down 67 feet down and just buried in the sand and everything. And that was a fun little experience. I'm a big diver, so it's a big passion of mine. It's all about water cooling, baby. I mean, I go deep. Been diving for a long time. But yeah, how is everybody doing? Welcome to the stream. Tell us more. I know. But yeah, no, I got a couple of things that are up there, that I've had laying around. I mean, even some like, like some old school stuff that I held on to, like when I first started here at Thermaltake. I mean, gosh, it's gonna be 7 years in April, being here with Thermaltake. So it's definitely been a real honor to be a part of the company here and to be able to do Thermaltake Live. Woo! But yeah, we got an S300, and we're gonna try to do. Yeah, I know, right. So we got an S300 Snow. We got some components over here. I got some water cooling stuff, and I thought it would be a good idea to kind of, kind of go over the case specs and do an installation or do a build with the S300 Snow. But I know there's a lot of people also out there at the moment that are really trying to figure out, one, getting a card, because a lot of people are wanting to upgrade to the new RTX 30 series. Or anticipating the new AMD graphic cards that are coming out. And two, finding a water block. I mean, we know that it's coming. We definitely have plans here with Thermaltake. We got some Thermaltake water blocks in the works. I'm very excited to get my hands on with one of those guys, and we'll definitely be doing a stream once I can get, one, the block, and two, the card, just like you guys. And yeah, hopefully we can get everything together and we can do a really cool build with some water-cooled 30 series, because I'm really curious to see the performance benefits and how much I can open that up once we get into some builds, because we definitely want to build a nice, cool looking liquid cooled PC, but we also want to make sure that it's a good performer as well, and make sure that those cooling components that we throw in there, do their job, and give us some more stuff and everything. But yeah, so S300 Snow, and then so we got some components over here too. I got a radiator here that I'm going to throw in, riser cable, because we got to vertical mount the card. We've done a good amount of testing with the 3080 and 3090s with a lot of vertical cooling, and just checking performance wise and everything. Because at the moment, we don't have a water block, but the concerns with the heat and everything, we're really not seeing too many bad issues. I mean, for example, the Halloween PC giveaway that we did, that was a 3080 and that was mounted vertical, and we got great temps out of that. I mean, I don't think it was like under full load. I mean, it was barely getting in the 80s. And I think that's pretty reasonable for most of the, card scenario and everything for, what people have got going on. But yeah, I can't wait to show those guys off. Oh man, let me tell you. All right, so we got fans over here. We got CPU, motherboard, GPU. We got radiator. I got RAM, storage, all the stuff just kind of sitting up here. So let's go ahead and let's get started. And of course, you guys, this is Thermaltake Live here. I am your host, Thermal Mike, and we stream every Tuesday and Thursday. We are looking to do a couple of things, and we got the new Call of Duty coming out on Friday, and we might do a special stream for that, just so we can, get on the day one action there with some Call of Duty Cold War. And speaking of Call of Duty Cold War, before I get started, I do want to give a nice shout out to our LCGS team. We got custom liquid cooled PCs like this S300 Snow. We actually have a couple of SKUs that are out already that have been out for a while with this particular case. And then with our new SKUs that we have that are supporting the RTX 30 series, get a free copy of Call of Duty with that if you buy it directly from LCGS. And we have those available on both Amazon and our store, thermaltakeusa.com. So check that out if you guys are interested in getting a PC and you want to get a free game on top of that. They're also throwing in the GeForce membership subscription, a 1-year subscription with that as well. And I mean, that's if you buy the card straight up or you're buying it with the system or what you're going to do. Because a lot of people will part some stuff out, because they just have the passion to build like I do. And then, of course, for somebody that wants to just get a nice straightforward pre-built system, got all the stuff all taken care of and get that warranty. I mean, we got that as well here with Thermaltake too. So that's great. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good stuff. Call of Duty Zombies all the way, baby. I can't wait. Steve can't wait either. I mean, we're both really excited about that. I mean, I haven't even seen a lot of gameplay stuff on it just yet for the zombies. It just only gave us like a little bit, But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Definitely gonna be a lot of fun. All right. So with any particular case, when you're ever starting out with a PC, there's a few things that you really kind of want to go about as far as, the better way to build, or just, stuff that could help out with the process. I think one of the first things you really like to, what I like to do a lot is, I'm just going to strip the case down. I'm going to take off both my side panels. I'm going to pop the front panel off. Let's just go ahead and get this going now. But I'll just pop my front panel off. So here's my front panel off of the 300. This is all steel. I mean, this is nice heavy front panel. Got a real nice clean look to it and everything. And it has ventilation on the sides for the fans, and there's also filters in here too. And for me personally, I'm not really, I'm more about airflow than I am about filtration. I think a lot of that has to come with, my maintenance that I do for my system. But it is something I want to point out that these are removable. You can pull these out to clean them, or just pull them out completely to get even more airflow. Gives you a little bit more intake here on the sides because it just opens up those vents that you have top to bottom on the front panel. So most of the time, at least for what I do with my builds, I pull these guys out. Now, some other filters and everything I would leave in because they do help, add in a bunch, because there's a filter here on the top as well. So you get a big, nice, clean filter on the top. And, when I'm going to be installing my fans and everything, of course, on the top panel. And with installing the fans, this is going to more or less be in my way. And I don't want to get it like dented, I guess you would say, or just kind of get bent or creased or whatever, where it's not like just nice and perfect and crisp. So we'll just go ahead and we'll take this guy and we'll put him off to the side as well. Just so that way we don't have to particularly worry about it getting damaged or anything during the building process. And then on the back side of the case, as you guys can see here on the back side of the case, the one thing I really like, and like as I was mentioning for like AIO cooling stuff, is that this does have a pass-through cooler. So you have a nice little filter, magnetic filter I can pull off right there. And then you got that pass-through right there for airflow to be exhausted out the back. So again, throwing up to a 360 millimeter radiator vertical on the side right here adds a nice little option for you to isolate a lot of that exhaust or the heat out of the case and just minimize the, the inner ambient temperatures, because, that's very important for everybody. And then, of course, with this too, we also have a storage rack. So there is 2 HDD mounting options right here. There's also an SSD on the top of this guy. So you could do 2 HDDs as well as a SSD there. There's also another one here on top of the power cover. And then you also have some other options in the back. So let's go ahead and let's take the back panel off. Will the RGB controller be able to handle the level of pew? I'm trying to figure out like how, the system that I want to use for this and, how we can set up the LED lighting so it reacts to the gameplay. So that's going to be some fun. Definitely going to have some fun with that. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop the back panel off. So you got a nice little back panel right here. And again, we'll just put this guy off to the side so it doesn't get messed up. And then one little quick tip that I always like to do, because I hate trying to find screws, and I know you guys probably do too. So the little thumb screws that I had on the back, I'm just going to put them right back on the case. That way they're right there when I need them, when I'm done and I'm putting the panel back in, and not worried where everything is after all the fun chaos that we have building. And I've already removed the tempered glass panel, so we got the tempered glass panel right there as well. Hey man, thanks for the follow, appreciate that. And yeah, we're just gonna start going through the process here, just kind of getting everything removed and opened up so we can, go forward with building it. So we got our IO panel that's gonna be going through. So our IO panel is gonna be located right here. Let me see, yeah, right there. And then I'm just gonna run those cables down along the back. So then you'll see right here on the back of the case, right here, I'm just gonna kind of sneak those cables. There's a nice little pocket. There's a nice little pocket right there that I really like. And it allows me to, kind of hide as much as possible, right? And then I also got pass-throughs through the front. So when I do my fan mounting for the case right there, to get my fans mounted in, I got nice little pass-throughs here in the top. So you guys can kind of see, just nice little options to kind of sneak this around into the back panel. And then you can just kind of run all your fan cables just right nice and down and around the side right there. So it makes it real clean. I got to increase my font on my chat. I can't see my font too well, so I'm sorry if I miss any questions. Good day, guys. Oh, right on, right on. Thanks so much for watching. Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff to do. So yeah, today we're just going to be just building in the system. I'm going to go ahead and just start pulling some of the cable stuff out. I'm going to kind of clear this up. We got a back fan. You know, it's going to come with a stock. You'll just get like a stock black fan off the back. You know, just so that we have at least something, because, you know, for most people, we do try to accommodate for just about any type of situation. For somebody that's just looking for a case on a budget and they don't want to throw too many fans, they don't want too much RGB, you just get at least a fan off the back for the case. I think it does come with other fans in the front. I have to double check that, but you know, it was just one of the cases that we had laying around. So you'll get some cooling options out of the box. But for this particular build, we're just going to be throwing in some of our ARGB 120 mil fans here for both the radiator as well as for the case cooling. All right. So then we're just going to go through the deconstruction process. I always like to just kind of clean everything up and just get all the, you know, get all the fun stuff out of the way. Bam. Take that out. I love this pass-through right here too, for obvious reasons. But yeah, how's everybody doing today? Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. I had some special music that I was going to put on for you guys too. Make sure that volume's not too crazy. Just get some. Don't want it too crazy loud, but you guys let me know. It's probably go a little more there. Hey man, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. So, I mean, a lot of times with the cable management in the S300, it really kind of depends a lot on what you're going to do. What you're going to put in here is really going to determine a lot of how good or bad, I would say, the cable management is. I mean, if you're just dealing with air cooling, you're not going too crazy with extra components that are going to require power or other types of cable connections and everything. It can be very straightforward, or it can be kind of complex. It really kind of depends on what you end up putting in there, and any, like, I would say, like controllers and stuff that would be added into. Oh man. But yeah, you'll get to see what I get to do. You'll get to see the fun that I get to do. All right, so we got most of this stuff. Oh. So for this particular build, I'm going to be running 360 radiator. So I got a 360 radiator. We're going to be putting it right here, vertical on the side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the hard drive tray off the back, because this is modular as well. Just 4 screws off the back to take this guy out. You know, if you wanted to do something like a 240, and say you wanted to just keep more minimalistic on the CPU cooling side, because some people will do either like a 240 or a 360. I really am not much of a fan of a 120 radiator only for just CPU cooling. I prefer at least like a 240 or bigger. Dual 560s. Right? So then we'll go ahead and we'll take this fun little guy out. Move him over. We got this fan. We're not going to be using it today. Make sure you follow and like us, and maybe you can win that fan. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, okay, so with the hard drive cage that we have on the top drive, I think it's mostly always the top drive from what I've seen, there's going to be a little accessory box. And this little accessory box is usually just kind of tied in here to the HDD cage. And then with that particular cage, you can mount both a 2.5 or 3.5 in here if you wanted to keep it. Like I said, if you wanted to do a 240 and run like a 240 right here on the inside, you still have room to keep this and then be able to pop a 240 up there. Actually, you know what? Let me show you. Okay. Man, I need more desks. But no, just kind of give you the idea. So here is with the hard drive installed, or with the cage, and I say I'd have the cage put in here. I could put a 240. Balance, baby. I could put a 240 right here. And then this would keep the hard drive storage option that I would have in the back. The other thing I could do as well is that if I still wanted to, like say I wanted to keep this and I just want to keep it clean, I can also put the radiator on the top. or an AIO on the top. So I could mount it either way. And I could put a 240 in the top or 280 in the top, which is a double 120 or double 140. Or I could do a 360, 240, whatever, vertical down the side. I mean, it has options for the front to do like a front radiator thing, but usually fans work pretty well there. That's what I'm planning to do today, at least. But yeah, you got some options with it. So we'll go ahead and we'll take our fun little storage cage guy out of here. We won't be needing that guy anymore. You're lonely. I know. We appreciate your love on YouTube. But we're really excited what we got going on Twitch too, just the same. I mean, I think it's good that we at least can cover, you know, two different things. I mean, Twitch is brand new to us for our channel, for Thermaltake Live, where, you know, our YouTube channel's been around for a little bit, and it's definitely been growing. I mean, most of all my videos that we do here live will be on our YouTube channel. So you guys can go back and watch the VODs for that. And, you know, be able to see all the stuff if you missed anything. But I do appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much. So we're gonna get a nice little screw pack. Got tons of screws in here for a variety of things, including the vertical mount for the riser cable, case fan screws for the case fans. You got other screws in here for the motherboard, because always the motherboard screws always come with the case. I get this question a lot where people will ask me, you know, that my motherboard didn't come with the screws, for example. And, you know, those kind of things can happen. Or people just, you know, particularly don't understand, you know, that the standoff is a standoff that's in the case. And in order to get the screw that's going to fit that standoff, you got to use the screw that comes with the case. So this is kind of important, because you don't want to just use anything because it might not be the right size in that regards. And then another little thing that I like here too is we got, it's basically a little stand. And what it's for is for the vertical mounting on the graphics card bracket. So when I'm doing my vertical mount, there's actually a little spot right here. There's actually two locations. One is gonna be a little bit longer, and that is if you're gonna use the case without the power cover, which I guess is a thing. And then there's also a short one in here for using it with the case, and it just kind of adds some stability to this little white bracket that you'd see right here. We can get that guy out of the way. We ain't going 240. We're going 360 today, baby. All right, so we got this little guy. We have to take the power cover off too, because we got to put the power supply in. So we'll leave that guy off to this side. We got a riser cable. We'll be putting that in a little bit, and we'll get our front panel out of the way. All right. So let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. So now, what we're gonna do is well, I like to start with installing the power supply, at least getting the brick in there. And I'm gonna have to take the power cover off anyways, and I don't really wanna remove the power cover while I'm, you know, having the motherboard like already in and doing all that stuff. So I'm gonna do that stuff later and just start with taking that power cover off. Now, if I wanna take the power cover, there are a couple of screws on the back, and it's the same with the vertical mount. The vertical mount also has some screws. Where'd they go? Yeah. The vertical mount also has some options too. So there's screws that are right here located on the back, and then these screws will hold the vertical mount on the top as well as the power cover on the bottom. And then there's also screws on the back as well that hold the power cover. It kind of clips in. I'll show you. So I got the one screw out, which is kind of holding the front edge of this. The front part there clicks, and then I just have this guy in the back to take off. As soon as I pop those two guys off, this guy, well, here, let me show you. So once I get those two screws off, then this guy is basically kind of loosey-goose. It's got little tabs right here, so I just kind of slide it. Just kind of slide it back. And then I can slide this guy out, trying not to scratch it. I usually do pretty good. It's nice. It's good coating on it, so I'm not really too worried. But yeah, it's got these little hook tabs, both here and right here. So it's got one on the top and then one on the back, and it just kind of eliminates you having to have like 20 screws holding this thing in. It's only got two. I really like that. Of course. You always, convincing the wife of just about anything you purchase is always the fun part about being a husband. Gotta share the love. So we got our power cover off. Pretty much got our case, for the most part, pretty open and exposed. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Okay, so now that we got our case pretty much kind of stripped down for the most part. Boy, I think she's naked. We can start diving into this guy. So right here, I just have one of our, this is our Tough Power 750 watt. Pretty good. 80 plus gold, 5-year warranty on it. Does a job, nice, clean. No RGB particular on this guy. Oh. Now you guys can see my, let me know what you guys think of the top down view, by the way. So I added I have another camera here so you guys can, you know, see a little bit more about what we got going on, where you guys can, you know, see me do the fun little unboxing like this. And ooh, look at that. You can see both angles. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this? So we got an accessory pack in here. We got our power supply itself. Now this is a semi-modular unit. So that just basically means a 24 pin, and I'll leave this in here for now. 24 pin is going to be, you know, like hard lined, as well as like the EPS. I think a PCI Express too. I think it's just EPS. Yeah. So then you'll get some cables just basically on this particular model, but we also have fully modular too. This nice clean little power supply. I like it's got the nice little gray, newer color that we're doing on here. Very clean. I like this a lot better than some that's more dominant color, like if it was like yellow or, you know, something like, or like the red. The red looks nice, but not when you want to do a blue build or anything. So this keeps it nice and neutral for the most part, which I really like. Especially, you know, my power cover's got a nice little window on it, so you can see that power right there. But yeah, a cable cover. So we got this with our cables. I'm not going to run all the cables just yet. I'm just going to basically just put the power supply in. Oh, but I wanted the screws. I forgot the screws for it are in the little bag with the plug. At least I hope they're in here. No, they're in here. Okay. Oh wow, I got some, even got some zip ties. You guys might have another name for zip ties, but at Thermaltake Live we call them zip ties. I love you guys. Yeah, so I got my mounting screws right here for my power supply. We go ahead and get that installed. Yeah, now see, for this, I'm basically just gonna install it in here. You don't really want to put it underneath, so it's going like underneath this power cover that's right here. You just want to just kind of just gently slide it back. There's nice little rubber cushiony things for your power supply, because we know power supply lives matter. And you know, they need to sit nice and comfortable in here, you know? They're doing the job for you, right? Yeah, screws for the power supply coming in. You know, the case has extra screws too for it as well, which I've used a lot. I get a lot of them. Just kind of hold that power on there, you know, until you at least get one in. So quarter-inch thick. Wow, that's a thick zip tie. Actually, they make some pretty crazy zip ties, you know, beastly zip ties, if anything. I got our screws right here for our power cover. Sometimes sometimes, you know, for those little screws, like I took those 2 little screws out on the power cover, I'll just, you know, like I did with the case, I'll just screw them back into the power cover, and then they're not sitting around loose, and I dump my bag of screws out and I'm like, which one was it? I already kind of pre-zip tied this. Actually, it was just kind of had some zip ties already going across here for this, just to kind of bundle a lot of that up. Yeah, power supply is now installed. We have this going in here, and I'm just going to kind of just set my cables right there. You know, just they can hang out for a minute. Okay, just going to check. Yep, all my standoffs are in here. So basically with a ATX motherboard, you're going to have 9 standoffs. I just like to make sure they're all in there. everything's nice and tight before I start dealing with getting the motherboard out and all that. We'll go ahead and we'll put our cover back on. Actually, you know what? Well, no. Okay. So sometimes I like to put the power cover back on right away. And a lot of times the reason for that is because you get these little pass-throughs right here in the cover. So if the cover doesn't have that, then what I'll do a lot of times is I won't install the power cover just yet. And I'll put my motherboard in and I'll run all my front panel connections and all that fun stuff on the bottom and just kind of get that all routed up so I can get some nice clean cable management with that. But you don't want to miss the opportunity of having these little convenient pass-throughs for stuff like that. Like, cause this is going to be, you know, your front panel audio and USB 2.0 stuff over here. And then on this side over here, you could have like your SATA cables, front panel power connections, stuff like that, USB 3.0. We'll see. We have a couple of things to plug in, but yeah, some power covers give you that nice clean, you know, more flush to the edge there. But I do like how we give these little convenient little cutouts. Look at these cool little cutouts. You get these neat little cutouts here on the panel. And then of course it's perforated too. So we're keeping our power supply fan facing upward because that's gonna be pulling the heat off of our card and shooting it out the back, just kind of helping out a little bit. So because of that and with those pass-throughs, I'm gonna go ahead and just drop this guy back in now. Just gotta line up the little tab, dudes. It's also a lot easier to do this before everything's in there. All right. I mean, the cool thing about this is it's not too crazy to take back out. You know, I've gotten better and better at left-hand drilling because of PC build. Because I'm totally right-handed, but sometimes you have to. Get that guy back in there. So there we go. Oh, I was spinning back around. There you go. See? So power supply is installed. We got some of our basic cables. You know, and they'll have a nice big, got this nice big port back here to, you know, put your other cables, kind of stash some stuff in there. As long as, you know, you just kind of, you know, do some good cable management. You got a nice little pocket of something, you know, kind of hide some things in there down on the bottom, you know, give you some extra room to do some stuff. I mean, you can also see too that there's also 2 more SSD mounts on the back of the case. I mean, granted, a lot of people are doing M.2, but it is just something to mention because we did take out that storage cage and basically lose 3 drives at that point. But, you know, for the extra cooling and everything, I think it's worth it. Or you can always go with a different case. I mean, we have like the S300, for example. It's got more room and more storage options too. So that way you can kind of get benefit of both. It's kind of just a, you know, how much space do you want? What size case are you looking at? Yeah, it's just one of the options. What do you got? Yeah, I'm just trying to. Water cooling is the way. Water cooling is the way. All right, so then we'll have some, like, here's our front panel connections. We got our USB, we got our front case panel 3.0, and we kind of separate that with the front panel audio because it's like, you know, 2 different places. So you'd be looking at this kind of going up here on this side of it, and then you're gonna, the audio can just go sneak through the back for that back lower corner, All right, so now that we got the case pretty much set, I mean, we can go forward with either installing the case fans. We could start prepping our motherboard. You got a few different options as far as what you want to do. I always like to prepare my motherboard out of the case, you know, CPU, thermal paste cooler, unless it's an AIO, put my memory in, my M.2, stuff like that. And that way it's just all, you know, nice here on nice clean table. And I'm not worried about, you know, how it's going in the case and everything just yet. That way I can just get all that kind of stuff situated. You know, same with like the cable routing and everything. So, and then the other thing too is that you have an option for fans. Like, which way do you want to, how do you want to put your fans in there and what size, right? So I have a variety of these. These are our 120 mil ARGB fans. These are pure ARGB fans. And we talked about these on previous stream, covering over our ARGB section. So if you guys haven't seen that yet and you're looking into ARGB options, we have a nice little stream that we did here, kind of covering over how all this works, both hardware and software wise. But yeah, this is our pure ARGB fans. We also came out with some new pure duos as well, which is basically 2 lights, giving you, or our 2 rings, double the lights. And of course, I have my wonderful little Tower O fans here. I have these guys all set up, right? So I have all these fun little fans. Lots of cables to deal with, but you have to just, you know, take it slow. Make sure that you're gonna, you know, use the space that you have as best as you can. I'm gonna have fun trying to fit all these in here, but that's always the best part about building. Well, let me make this. Just want to see if I can make this a little bit bigger for me so I can see you guys. It just makes the chat's like longer, but I want to make the, you know, the font bigger. There we go. There we go. But yeah, we got a nice little tower of fans. You know, you can, in your spare time, you know, you can do some fun little builds with all these things and everything. But one thing that I do like to mention, when you're dealing with, you know, any RGB fan, and you have all these, before you're going to put these in the case for whatever it would be, plug them all in. You know, use a power supply that you're going to use with the build, jumper the 24 pin. Maybe you got an extra power supply laying around that you use for like a tester, perfect for stuff like this. And just plug them all in, turn them all on, make sure everything works. I've already gone through and done that. I've actually still have them all linked together with the cables and everything, because these are all just the daisy chain guys. So it makes it real easy. I just linked them all together, just turned them all on, and just ran through with the little manual controller that it comes with, and you know, just made sure every single fan works, because last thing you want to deal with is getting everything put in and then you turn it on for the first time and one fan's not working, or an LED or whatever's not working. I mean, nothing's going to be perfect. It's all about how you build and how you prep. Yeah, it's just an easy thing for me. It takes a little frustration out when you get everything done, and then you, especially the cable management, and you have to take one fan wire out and just kind of unroute it from everything because you got to replace it or whatever. I mean, it happens, right? But you know, if you can prevent it, you know, these are good ways to do that. We are fans of fans, by the way. Big time, big fan. I'm a big fan of Thermaltake fans. Another thing I'm a big fan of is these cool little magnetic trays that I can put all my fun little screws in here and everything. And then it makes it nice and convenient. I kind of already pre-sorted a lot of stuff out for like my radiator, my pump, my case screws, you know, my fan radiator screws, because you're going to have like a coarse thread screw, which would be just, you know, something like this, you know, a little coarse thread screw. And then we're going to be using our fan screws, like these guys right here. We'll be using those for the fans going into the radiator. And then of course we have radiator screws then to secure the radiator to the case. Just gonna disconnect all these guys gently. We can start building these guys in. Yeah, it's always good to just kind of pre-test stuff if you can. I mean, same with like motherboard. You guys are, you know, building a system and you're starting to get parts coming in, right? Once you get enough things in, I mean, you know, bread box in the motherboard, or, you know, if you get some basic components, you know, you get a post screen, you know, maybe you haven't gotten your monitor yet, you know, and you're just trying to mock some stuff up. I mean, I think it's always fun and exciting to see people do builds and, you know, they're turning the RGB on first and they haven't even filled the coolant yet, or, you know, got everything going because they're just so excited for the build. I love that about people, and getting to see them have so much fun putting stuff together. Yeah. So with the case, because it has a front panel that kind of extends off of the actual frame or the body, so this kind of extends off, you have the option of putting the fan either on the outside of the frame or putting it, you know, here on the inside. And a lot of that's going to determine as far as what type of clearance you have for the rest of your cooling as far as what you're going to do, and or as well, you know, getting more cold air intake, right? So a lot of times if you're going to mount your fan where it's going to be here on the inside, and then that means the air is going this way into the case going in, so you're getting fresh intake going into the fan or into the case. You know, you mount your fans on the inside. And then when you mount the fans on the inside, the one thing you're going to want to make sure is that with your clearance that you'll have right here for your AIO or radiator or whatever you're going to do, if you're going to do that, you want to just make sure that you're going to have proper clearance for both that radiator and fan as well as putting these in. And one thing that I'll definitely mention is don't put the radiator in first. You will thank me later for that. Because what you're going to do is once you go to, say, like you put your radiator in, got my big radiator, just bam, 360 right here, got my fans all set up and everything. And then I'm going to go put my fans in on the case. You know what's going to happen? This back little screw right here that's going to be on the case, that guy is going to be next near impossible to get to because you're going to have a radiator in the way. And you're going to want to get it right there so everything looks nice, you know, proportionate 1, 2, and 3, you know, going up to the front of the case. So just a, you know, fun little tip on that. And then of course, making sure you put the fans the right way. I mean, that's definitely important, but I hope you guys already understand how all that goes. So with these fans, they have 2 cables, one for the power for the fan, the spinning part itself, and then one for the LED for the other cable. And then you want to see, like, you know, as far as like the orientation that you have. So with the particular fan that you would have, you have the cables coming off on one corner. And then with that one corner, you're going to want to kind of, I mean, at least, especially for like, you know, if you're not dealing with the ARGB fans as much because it's just got a single ring, but you want that same rotation. You want the same color pattern to be the same on it. Make sure you keep the cables in the same corner. So as far as I stack my 1, 2, 3 fans, you know, going up right here, I'm going to want to make sure that these cables are in the same little corner. So I get the nice little same animation going all up. It's not like offset by one being this way or one being that way, for example. And that really matters, especially with our TTRGB Plus stuff too. Yes, so with this particular case, you can fit 3 120 millimeter fans on the top. I'm not 100% sure if you could do 140s. It is tight up there. You can't do a 360 radiator. I mean, it would fit. I mean, I've honestly, I tried to get it to fit in there. But the thing is with that, once you get the radiator with that length, it gets real close to the PCB on the IO panel on the top. So that's why the case is spec'd out for like a 240, 280 only on the top. And, you know, another reason why I said, you know, using that side radiator option to have at least an option for a 360 is really ideal. So let's see, we'll keep our fan cables here on, we'll do the lower right. We'll just keep them all lower right as far as how they're going to go there. Now this is slotted for both 120 and 140. So there's basically 2 rows for the 2 different size fans that you can put in here. Okay. What I like to do when I put my fans in is I won't screw them like down like super tight. I'll just get them in so they're there and they're not going to fall off. So I can kind of slide them around a little bit and do, you know, a little bit of adjustment to them, just so I can line them up for the 3 or 4 or whatever you're going to be doing as far as what you're going to put in there. Because then you're going to have different little track slots, right? And then sometimes it's going to be on the upper slot or the bottom slot, and you just kind of want to, you know, kind of play with it a little bit. But yeah, that's why I don't like just fully secure them until I get all 3 in, and just kind of lay them out that way, and it works pretty good. And then see, the other thing too is that with this particular setup, I put it so that way the core screws are on the front of the case. So that way, if I need to get the fan back out, the fan can come out there after I've already got my radiator installed, versus if I had the fan mounted in the front, then I'm doing a core screw through the back on the inside going into the fan. So then if I do that where the fan is on the outside here, one, I'm limiting my airflow a good bit. I mean, I wouldn't say it's detrimental, but it does limit my airflow. I can get more cold air this way. And then also the other option is the fan will come out easier. So it's just a fun little tip too. But then, yeah, it's kind of, it's in there, but it's a little loose. Actually, I probably made this one a little too tight. There we go. And see. All right. And we'll just keep going, baby. We'll just keep going. Thanks again for you guys joining in. Thanks so much for the follows, you guys. You guys are awesome. Who's excited for the new Call of Duty coming out on Friday? Huh? Are you excited? Zombies. Yeah, it's a good mount. I mean, for this particular case, I mean, you don't have to put this many in. But, you know, I kind of like to show like the use case, right? So you can do 3 in the front, 3 on the top, 1 in the back, and then I got another 3 for the radiator. So I think that's why there's a little bit more. I mean, you can definitely do 2 and 2, top and front. Be fun. Get a little bit of a gap there that might bother you, but that's your own personal thing, you know? There's no real LAN parties going on right now, you know? Everybody's all at home. Hopefully building their new PC, getting ready for the new games that are going to be coming out. Got all the new stuff that's going to be coming out there. Cool. That's good. And we'll just start taking bits and pieces of that fan tower there and getting that all squared up. I know, right? One day it will be back. The LAN parties will return and we will once again go into battle with our friends. All right. Wait, is that the same one? Yeah. All right. Put this guy right here. We're just putting our front fans in. When you get rid of these 2 PCs, you'll be building in the in the big helicopter. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. I want to put these in the. I put these in the wrong little duder. See, this is what I'm talking about. Because I want my fans to line up. I want these bad boys lining up real nice. And I just want to make sure you get the right little slot for them. So let's get a couple in there. Because I think that one I can move up a little bit. Some of these ports on the front are actually just holes, and it's more of like a static option to get, like if you want to just kind of lay it out, but I like to have my fans a little bit higher. It's not really going to matter too much, but you know, it's some fun to play around with and put all this stuff in. Nice. I'd love to see some rotating blades on that, and I will scream, get to the chopper for you when I watch you or see your photos of your build. Because that's all I think about it, and it's awesome. All right. Move this guy up a little bit, and we'll lock him down. Okay. How's everybody doing? I know I need to, Steve's right. We need to build a helicopter. It was something that we wanted to do. I mean, I was already talking with I was already talking with them about like, hey, I want to do like a crazy attack helicopter, do full camo paint on it, and you know, like the whole 9 yards and stuff. And we were in, you know, like Computex kind of stuff, right? But rip Computex, rip CES. But you know, we might have something fun in store for CES. Even though we can't go to Vegas directly, we can still show you guys some fun stuff. Especially with all the new stuff we get, because I like all that new stuff. All right. So we got our 3 fans pre-installed. Installed. We'll just take these guys. We're just going to route them. Just kind of get these guys pulled through here real quick. Just being careful I don't, you know, pull on any of the little pin connectors and stuff. Other than that, we're just building today. We're not going to worry about the cables too much. We're just going to, you know, get the majority of them just kind of out of our way. I mean, mostly here so I can get the, yeah, you know, get the radiator installed. No, I'm really glad you like the jams. I tried something different here. Got a lot of stuff to play with. I need to like sit down and go over some more music and, you know, get some more stuff set up, because, you know, copyright stuff and everything. And copyright stuff can be brutal. How's the volume, by the way? Is the volume on the music vibing? Is it good? It's not like too crazy, like over the top or anything. It's mellow, right? We're chilling, building a PC. Cool, baby. It's cool. Hope everybody's relaxing on a Tuesday. All right, so we got our three friends installed on the front. Now let's go. Let's see. Got all that's gonna bundle in there nice. So we got that little, you know, little bundleage going on right here. Get that all laid out and just kind of, you know, keep our cables all nice so they don't get all messed up and everything. You know, depending on what you got working on, you know, what you're building with. Yeah, on the front panel, it does actually have stationary mounts for two 200s. I've actually never put them in there. I think it was just a template thing for the case. I'll have to check. I mean, you guys check. Is it show on there? Can't remember. Haven't really run too many 200 fans on this case. All right. Okay. So when we get the fans to install on the top, since they're going to be coarse thread screws and they're just going to be going down in through the top and everything, I'm going to wait until I'm going to do some other stuff and get some other stuff installed in here first. So let's just, I mean, we can just go ahead and put the case off to the side. I mean, got to do the riser cable, you know, pull the expansion slots out, get that prepped for the video card. But I think it's time to dive in a little bit on the motherboard side. We got some fans in. We could put the other 4 in there. You know what we'll do first, since we're on the fans at the moment, we'll go ahead and we'll put them into our radiator so we can get that stuff all set up. Bring you guys in. So right here, I'm working with, this is a 360 Copper Radiator by Thermaltake. This is like a mid width, so like 55 mil. We do have a variety of different sizes, from like something thin like an AIO, that's like a 25 mil, 55, and then 64 for like the big boys. But I think this will do nicely for the case. And then we just want to follow the same type of pattern that we would with the fans that we did, you know, on the front of the case. So with the fans on the front of the case, we have them set where the power connection for the fan is located right here in this bottom corner. So we just want to kind of just take that same idea and transplant it over onto the radiator. Now, it can be a little confusing when you look at things as far as what corner it's going to be when you go to put it up into the system, because like ideally, like, you know, have it where, you know, this is the way that this is the way. And then you just turn it this way. And you go, oh, okay, it goes that way. I don't know. That's what works for me. And then we're going to be using the longer radiator fan screws to do the install on this guy. Now, definitely something to mention is that here at Thermaltake, we offer a variety of different options. So you can definitely part this stuff out and get what you want and get your individual things. Hey, thanks for the follow. Get your individual components and get, you know, your stuff the way you want it. But we also do kits as well. And we do a variety of different kits, from like 240 to 360 radiators that will come with, like, you know, a water block, radiator fans, coolant, you pump reservoir, and you can kind of get a, you know, like a preset thing that's going to be for like a CPU type of installation only. No, we don't do the graphic card stuff really in a kit, but you always have room to expand on that graphics card to add the water block in. You just want to make sure that you stick with like a 360 or higher. I mean, you could do a 240 with CPU and GPU, but I wouldn't recommend it. And then the other thing that's cool too is that if you're real, you know, you're real big on, you want a certain fan with a certain rad and, well, like say like CPU block and so on and so forth, we also make tube kits as well. So like if you're looking to do PETG hard tubing and you kind of just want to get like the whole package, we sell kits that, you know, come in a box, and it'll have the tubing, you'll get the insert, and then you'll get a variety of fittings with it. You'll get like just the compression fittings, like our C-Pro fittings. We throw some 90s in there and some other stuff for like a common like CPU build, so you don't have to worry too much about what you all need. And then we have those little kits too that are very convenient. But yeah, like I said, I mean, you can do that, or you can just part out everything individually, because we have all the individual components just the same. You like a particular color of our C-Pro fittings? We got a variety of different colors you can choose from. Adapters too. Now we actually got those new adapter colors in, which are looking really sweet. I hope to, I've played around with them. Coating on them's real nice. Looks real clean. The white 90s look real clean. I was gonna use them on this build, but I just decided to go with my stock stuff. Maybe we'll use those in a future build, because we're gonna be doing lots of these. Or at least this is the fun. This is what I like. This is what I like doing. Isn't a 360 rad a bit overkill for a 3600? You, sir, might be right. But what's overkill in the concept of, say, what if we have the system set up and we do CPU cooling? And hear me out. We throw in our nice little RTX 3070, and one day a water block arrives and you want to add it to the loop. Well, there you go. You're ready to go already, right? That's kind of the idea. You know, allow you to, hey now, allow you to have, you know, some options for expandability. Because DIY really makes it convenient for that. And I mean, just the same, I could go soft tubing with this and then go to hard tubing later. I mean, you guys have seen me do this, but I'm doing like all fast on the time-lapse builds and everything. So this is really fun that I get to do this live like this. I've been really excited to do this. Because most of the time you'll see a video and be like, hey everybody, Thermaltake, and we got this cool case and I'm gonna do this ridiculous water cooling build. Here's a giant stack of fans, now watch real fast. When we put that together, that's so much fun. So much fun. I think one of my favorite ones was that tower ripper build that I did, where I custom painted the Tower 900. And we were like one of the first, it was the first water cooled Threadripper that I knew of. We debuted it in LA at the AMD press event, and that was a lot of fun. That's actually currently at AMD in Texas, or at least it has been for years. I've been wanting to hit them up for, you know, doing some stuff with it, and I'd really like to do something similar, because that the paint job. I mean, I got to go out and paint that, and that was a lot of fun. I did a crazy fade on that with a red and orange, and I got the colors from AMD. Like, hey guys, what's the color code? They sent me the color code, and bam, that was a lot of fun. All right. So now, when you go to put your radiator in, right, you have some options as far as how you would have put your fans in, and it's stuff you got to think about. You know, as far as where I put my fan cables and how I'm going to get them to run. If you have the fan cables going down this side, you got the fan cables going down that side. It all really depends on which way you rotate the fans. So it's something to think about with your cable management, space you have, or what you're going to do. Maybe you don't want the cables to be so exposed on the side, because for whatever reason, it's so important. You can always sneak them on the inside here, and then when it goes into the case with the other fans that are going to be right there, they're kind of hidden a little bit better. All right, so then we got our radiator here. You see, yep. And you know what? I put my stop plugs on the wrong side. Now, speaking of stop plugs, I got one right here on the bottom on the radiator. And a lot of people will put like a, you know, they do it like a 90, do a little quick connect or quick release, you know, disconnect so that you can put it in and use it for draining and stuff. But it is very important to make sure, especially when you're building, to make sure to put this guy in before you put your radiator in, because you'll forget about it. And that's the last thing you want. So you don't want stuff like that happening. Hand tight. Don't gotta go crazy. So we got these up here. We got our fun little fans. Look at that. See? You guys see? Oh, good luck with that 2950K. Those things are pretty beastly. I had some 1920Xs and some 2990s. Did a cool little Threadripper build with our W6. Mocked that up for our graphics person. So they had like a beastly machine. Really cool. That was a lot of fun to build. All right, now before I go and I get my radiator in here, I'm just looking at a couple little cable options so I don't have to worry about this later. And I'm just gonna throw some zips. Nothing crazy, just a little, just kind of keep everything, you know, tied together. You guys can run them in a nice little linear pattern with it, or you know, however you want to do. And here we go. So then we got our fan cables all nice and clean here on the side. Look at that. Right there, just kind of right on the side. Then we go and put that in the case like this, and bam, there you go. Oh, so before I go and I put my radiator in, I like to get my screws prepared. And the reason why I say that is because with most radiator screws, you got a fun little washer too. And if you're like me and you're doing this by yourself, you're gonna be holding that radiator while you're getting those first couple of screws in. So I like to just kind of prep my screws, and I'll just put a couple of here. I mean, most of the time I'll just lay them all out. It makes it easier. Oh, almost dropped it. Almost dropped it. Oh, I got that W7. I got that W7 for you. Ooh, a 2950X, nice. I saw that that AS Rock, that is micro ATX Threadripper board. That thing looks wicked. And you got your fun little cables to mess with right here as well. So you want to make sure you wrangle these guys. Throw all this together. This way I can just pull my cables through. Get my radiator kind of you're gonna have this problem. Make sure your screws are ready. The first one is always the best one. At least once you get this guy in, you don't have to really worry about holding it too much. Now, a lot of times with the radiators, you can see it's pretty bottomed out. I can go a little bit higher on it, so I can push it all the way up to the top. But my clearance here is really kind of limited. So for this particular build, as far as how I would do it, I would just put a stop plug there. And if I want to do drainage, I'm going to do drainage off of like the pump reservoir. Just because, you know what it is. The other thing that's kind of fun too, I mean, you know, I wish I could, you know, really kind of get into some cutting and everything, but you have a nice little convenience there where you could do like a, you know, with that bottom port. With that bottom port, you could do something like this, which is like our little quick disconnect that we got. And this is like one of those, you know, you turn it to open, you know, turn it to close kind of deals. And you can put something like this just right there on the bottom. And I mean, you could just basically just take a hole saw once you got everything lined up and then just pop a little hole out. I mean, you got a nice little gap right here in this little part down here in the bottom right here. And I mean, you could run just like a little drain port. And then like, ideally, if you wanted to drain the system even more, you could just kind of slide it off the edge of the table. So it's just kind of like, you know, hanging off the edge right there. And you just got your little quick connect. I could put in a fitting with a barb on it with a soft tube, and then I could just put that in there, open this, and just drain it straight out and make it real quick and easy. The other thing I like to do too is that, like with like the hard tubing, once I have it in there, I'll just make like a tube and I'll just blow on it and just try to get most of it out, or I'll do a separate return on it and then just fill it with just distilled water and just let it cycle through but not come all the way back out. It just goes straight into a bucket. Like if I'm doing like a color change or something like that, or just like maintenance. But I mean, you have some options. I you know, cutting into cases and everything like that. That's, you know, something I'd like to do in the future. We will see. All right. Do I want to run? Is this gonna? Let me see. Because I don't want to smash my cables too much. So I do want to run my cables through the side. I put the cables actually through the back port, through the bottom. But now I want to run them over here to the side. So before I get the rest of those screws in, I'm just going to pull these duders out. Just be careful of your connections. You're fine. You can run them out the side there, and then just swing them around the back. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's definitely something I'd like to do. I've wanted to take a case and cut it up like a hot rod. You know, chop it and stretch it. Do something wicked with it. Maybe we'll get to something like that. I'd like to do more of those kind of things. That would be a long stream, and that'd be multiple streams for something like that, but I definitely don't see it not being possible. The only possible issue I would have with something like that is, can I bring a welder in? Because I'll tell you right now, I got a background in custom cars, and I am not afraid to use a grinder and a welder at all. But you know, we got the space, and we want to make sure the space is good. I got a welding mask. It's called the AHT200. Oh, what up? You know, I thought about, you know, setting up something like that in my garage to do like some hardcore stuff, you know, with the workbench and everything, and, you know, just really dive into something where I could do like the raw modding there, and then just bring it in to do like the build and the liquid cooling after it's all nice and painted, and, you know, do all that kind of stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm dead serious, by the way, too. I would really like to do stuff like that, but that does take a lot more resources for something like that, to set something up like that at my house. But yeah, you know, time will tell. Time will tell. And if you guys keep watching and everything, the more you guys watch and the more you guys click that awesome follow button and like and subscribe on our YouTube, the more stuff I'll get to do. So definitely be excited for that. All right. So we got the one screw in here in our rad. Let's get the rest in. So I'm just getting the screws in here on the back. And then this bad boy will be good to go. See? You guys can see. Gives a nice look to the case too. Because you just get that radiator and fan just bam right in your face. And then all the heat and everything will pass through the back too, so that's nice. Now, another thing to mention is that since we're going to be doing like a hard tube build on this, and it's going to be, you know, PETG, and we're going to be doing the tube work later and everything, I don't really want to secure lock the radiator in like right away. What I want to do is I want to get the screws in there to kind of hold the radiator, like I was saying with the fans. And then with that, I would have the option to basically move the radiator up and down a little bit. I got probably about, I don't know, about an inch adjustment, maybe about 3/4 of an inch to go up and down on the radiator. And the reason why I say that is because when you're going to do your tube runs, you can always kind of cheat on the first one. So if you're doing, say, from CPU back to rad, and you're running that, you know, you got a 90 coming out of the CPU and it's going over, and you're doing a 90 into the radiator, and for whatever reason, you know, it's just like, it's like this, or it's like that, you know, just a little bit. You can cheat a little on the radiator on the first tube, and then just kind of push it up and just be like, and just get it just perfect. And then you don't have to worry about that. But then at least, you know, you get one. You get one out of it, and then the second one, you got to do the work. But hey, it's a smarter way to do it. At least it works good for me. It makes it convenient for me for what I'm doing. I mean, a lot of that, I guess, depends too on what you're doing. Like what kind of tube work you want to do. If you want a nice straight clean line, you got some 45s in there kind of coming off wicked and then turning over real sharp and then going in and, you know, doing that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. So we got our radiator plug plumbed, you know, this all set up right here, installed in the case. We got options to move it up and down. We've secured our G1/4 plugs on the top and the bottom. Made sure those things are nice and secure because we don't want to forget about those later, you know, after everything's all done and we're putting coolant in it. All right. And then we still got more fans to put in here as well. Oh, we got a lot to do. So I hope you guys, yeah, just hanging out. We're gonna have some fun. We'll see how far we get today. And maybe we'll continue this on Thursday. Just depending on what's going to go on. We'll see how we go. I'm having a lot of fun just hanging out. I hope you guys are having a good amount of time hanging out too. I appreciate it. Oh, I got Mike punched. Which is ironic because I'm Mike, but hey. Yeah. Car radiator, Tower 900, accept the challenge. Nice, just badass, just intercooler radiator just right there in the front. You know, and then you could do those. Have you seen the like they do like the PMMA, like for the radiators for the cars, and it's all transparent, or it's like transparent aluminum, and they have all that stuff, and you can see the coolant moving in the block and everything. That is wicked stuff right there. Okay. Hey, TT dude, what's going on, bro? Hang out with us. Got our boy TT dude here hanging out. So, right here, we have a Ryzen 5 3600 XT. Oh, I did bring a blade. Look at that. I broke the seal, guys. Can't return it. Oh, nice, man. How'd it come out? I hope the build came out good. Oh, we got that bad boy right there. Now, a lot of times I'll use because this one comes with the fan, of course, and I'll use the fan for like my initial bread boxing before I get everything put in, just to test it right there on the table. Good little idea if you got the option. Don't even really have to clip it in either. I mean, you can just kind of just set it on there and just kind of, and it's, you know, all you're doing is turn it on, getting BIOS, making sure memory shows up, clock seem right, check what BIOS version you got, maybe flash the BIOS on it. We'll also be using an LCS 550 Pro AC. So we got this bad boy right in here. Oh, with all that wonderful plastic noise, the static bag noise. I love the smell of new electronics. It just kind of, it's just, you know, it's just a thing. It's a thing. We got our nice board. We'll set that down right there. All right, so what do we got in here? Let's see. RGB stuff. We got some SATA cables, install guide, Wi-Fi duder, and then this magic little box right here. I love this thing. For all my front panel stuff, and it just kind of plugs into the brick, and then the brick just goes in at one shot. Yep, I'm a fan of that. Makes it easy. All right. So we'll put our Wi-Fi guy off to the side for a little bit. Set it next to our power plug for our power supply, and then we got this little dude. I love what Gigabyte's doing with this. So this is basically just our little front panel block. You guys can kind of see that. Just connects up front panel header to the motherboard for all those cables from the case and everything. All right, so there's our motherboard. Looking pretty good, by the way. B550. I really have been pleasantly surprised with the nice options that they came out for this versus the other series that we had. Oh, you get that nice little, you know, the little, oh. Get that out of here. We don't need any of that. Yeah, it's a good looking board. I mean, I really like the layout, the colors and everything, what they did. Go. Nice little chrome accents, you know, to kind of break up the white. You know, these guys have the fun little triangle action on here. Not rocket science. I don't know, it's kind of funny. It's like, I don't even think about the triangle anymore. I just think the fact that the Ryzen has to go sideways to go into the motherboard, it just works out. I don't know, it's just funny. But yeah, we're gonna have a new socket from AMD after all this, after the 5000 series. It's gonna be pretty crazy. What a long life they had with that. Got some RAM. I got some TTRGB Plus. TTRGB Plus. There's a Tough RAM RGB. Really like the look at this. This style with the modules and everything, the light up and everything with the little chrome TTs right here. It's pretty cool. If it makes it easy for anybody at home when they're going to put this in, always make sure to know that the TTs go on the bottom. Unless you're running like, you know, like X299 or all the stuff like that, then you got to flip-flop them. But other than that, it's not a big of a deal. So yeah, so we got a pretty big turnout here from you guys. You know, we kicked off our giveaway. You know, we gave away a PC. Wait till you see what we do next. But yeah, we got a follower support on there. So if you guys are liking the channel and you're liking this as far as what we got going on, building in the S300, or say, for example, you want to see something else, drop it in the chat. Let me know what you'd like for me to build next. What particular case? I'm thinking P3. What color? White, black, red? Got a couple of different colors. We could do some fun stuff with that. Make sure you hit that follow button. Our new goal right here is 2,000 follows. We're doing pretty good. We're over halfway already, thanks to a lot of your guys' support. But yeah, help us reach that goal and we can do some more fun stuff. All right. So we got our RAM, CPU, all that. I'll put the storage in later because I left it over there. But M.2 is just going to go right here in the center. Won't be too big a deal. I don't know if we're going to be getting into doing OS installs today, so I'm not too stressed about it. But yeah, there we go. So for this, I always like to, you know, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to dig into the screws that came with the case, because these are going to have the screws for our standoffs. And the manual, which I'm not going to bring the manual, but the manual does show like what screw goes where for like what, and it really helps. So like if you're, you know, you dump this bag out, you got a bunch of stuff in here, you'll see some radiator screws for radiator fan screws. You just get a lot of coarse thread screws. We throw additional standoffs in case you strip one or two. I mean, there's a few of them actually in here. I got the screws in here for like the vertical mount so I can get the riser cable on there. And then of course, the motherboard screws. And we'll need 9 of those. So we're just gonna get these set up. I like that little. Pretty cool. 369. All right. And we have our little bunch of fun right here. I'm trying to think of what else I actually need out of this little bag. I'm gonna need 2 screws for the vertical mount. We get a legit speaker, and it's still on the bag. They're still throwing that speaker in there, guys. I play all my games off of it. Surround sound 7.1. Yeah, we got some good stuff planned. Dude, right on, dude. TT Black Mark V 3Ks. Wow. A PC with a full-blown spaceship. You know, I'll tell you, that wasn't the only PC that we gave away, but that was definitely the first one. Oh, I love how the IO panel's built in on this too. Oh, let's go ahead and put this little dude in first, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. So right here, well, let me get all this out of the way. Yeah, thanks for the follow, man. Right here's the vertical mount. So the vertical mount, I got my cool little stand, and then what this is gonna do is it's just gonna brace. Just gonna brace this little back corner right here. So let's see how it's kind of, how this kind of flips up this little area right here. So we give you this little thing. Okay. It's got a little screw that goes on the top. There's another little screw right here that goes on the bottom, so you could screw it in from the bottom too, but I don't think it's gonna make or break it. I don't want to take the cover back off. Oh, my spaghetti's hanging out the back. There we go. Yeah, so this is the Thermaltake S300 Snow Edition. Kind of stripped down right now, but nice mid-tower case, ATX form factor motherboard, 360 radiator support here on the side, as well as 240, 280 on the top. Nice overall case. Power cover, vertical mount options, rotatable bracket. So this guy right here can rotate, and you could mount it in traditionally, or you can have it go the other way, so you get some good stuff. We have this available in both black and white. All right. So let's make sure our cables are cool before we put our case down. We already got a good little bundle of cables going here. That way we got, yeah, situated here for you guys, so you guys can see. Yeah, we actually use ASRock boards a lot in a few of our LCGS builds. So we use a variety of different motherboard manufacturers, from ASRock, Gigabyte, Asus, MSI. It just kind of depends on the price point. For the feature set, you know, if it's a B series or an X series or a Z series, you know, so on and so forth. And we got a lot of options. All right. I got my screws right here for my motherboard, and we're just gonna go ahead and drop this guy in. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot. Okay, one more thing I want to do. Let's put the CPU block on, and then we'll throw this in the case. Because then that way we don't have to worry about dealing with the back plate action. So for this, we're going to be putting our W7 CPU water block. Supports both Intel and AMD. Of course, I guess, you know, AMD is really all that matters at the moment. But hey, I'm looking forward to seeing what Intel can do. You just need a little bit of time. How many guys, a lot of you guys running Intel and have switched over to AMD recently in like the last year? Or most of you guys still on Intel and just maybe saving up to upgrade the graphics card? What are you guys doing? All right, and we got our beautiful Pacific W7 Plus. So this is what I was showing at when I did the TTRGB Plus stream. Covering over all that RGB with this nice block. Transparent. Get LED, addressable LEDs that go all around it. G1/4 in and outs. Not directional, so you can go either way. Then we got some of our other cables. You know what? I'm just going to leave the cables in there for now. But I do need the AMD bracket and the new backplate, as well as my hardware. So we'll get that stuff out now. So we got our screws there. We got that stuff. We got that stuff. And we got that. And then that way I leave the cables for that product in that box. I don't like put it in a pile with a bunch of other cables, so I know which one goes where, and you know, try to make it as easy as possible, right? So I'll go ahead, take off our old back plate, and then we got this little guy to go through. So we gotta take off the Intel bracket and put the AMD bracket on. Oh, did I take the wrench out and not put it back? Oh. Yes. All right. Oh, the View, yeah, View 51. View 51 Snowbuild definitely want to do some pretty cool liquid cooling in that. You got a lot of options for liquid cooling. There is so much space in the back of that case, it's just redonkulous. And then the cooling options with the distro plate and everything. Definitely going to be doing some distro plate builds. This one right here, we're going to do a pump reservoir, PR22D5. Mostly because this particular case, you could fit a distro in here, but if you put our 360 distro in, then you're limited to a 240 radiator. So you can kind of figure that out as far as what makes more sense for you. I mean, it's definitely an option, but if I was going to put like that bigger distro in there, I'd want to match it with like a 360 radiator, so I'd have room to, you know, like expand and do GPU cooling down the road. I mean, you could stick with, you know, 240 CPU GPU cooling, but again, like I said, not my favorite. So now we just basically pull off. My bad. Let me move this up a little bit. We got all that stuff here. So ideally what I'm doing is that with my W7, I have these little brackets that, you know, I take the old bracket off. And just to mention, so this is going to go in like this on the side. So you'll see this bracket right here going in, and then this is going to come out, and then you're going to notice that this doesn't go in the same way because it changes the orientation. The other thing to mention too is that one side of this is beveled and one side of it's flat. And I always put the flat side, I guess, on the bottom, so that way the rounded edge is on the top, so you get the nice little rounded edge right here on the top side of the block, not the bottom side of the block. And then we'll just go ahead and we'll put both brackets in, and we'll get our screws going back on. Yeah, okay. Oh, we've been going for a good bit, huh? Woo, 2:30. The little wrench is included, by the way. So you don't have to worry about fishing all that stuff. We throw everything in the box that you'll need. So all I'm basically doing is I'm just putting the new bracket, or I'm swapping the bracket from Intel to AMD. And then we'll go forward with putting the back plate and all the little standoff stuff for the water block on the motherboard. So this guy just 4 screws. These guys are going to go right in here. See? There you go. And then you got you can see my GoPro right there. Hi, GoPro. And then you can see my brackets and all that. And then see, like, I'll have this, you know, where I have this part and this is my little connection for the RGB. So then I'll have that little connection, and it's actually on, it's on like the outside, or like the front side of the bracket. And what I'd like to do is I'll just take it, and actually I probably should have done this beforehand. But what I'm getting at is you can take this, and before you put this top bracket on, you could run it through the back side, and it just kind of prevents it from bumping in the front, and it just gives you like a little cleanup, so you can kind of sneak it up on that motherboard, so you get it right up there on the off to the side and everything, because that's going to go up and through the back to plug into the controller. There we go. W7 ready to go. All right, now we got all these little fun bags to play with. So I said fun bags. So those are going to be our retention screws that we have. These are going to be our little pass-through for our bolts that we got going on right here. And then we got these little protection, they're little like plastic washer guys. Wait, what happened? Warning, don't pull this off. Don't. What? I must have missed the first part. I'm deep in the build. So then we got this wonderful little backplate. It's got like a bunch of the, you know, little pre-sorted holes and everything, you know, as far as what goes on where. And I always forget. I think it goes in these ones. I could look at the manual, right? But yeah, the thing about these is that they have a square locking part. So when you put it up through, it's square. So that way when it locks, it won't turn. So then that way you just want to make sure you have that all the way seated into the back plate. So when you go to put the other part, you know, put these all threads through the, you know, and get these screwed down, then you don't have to, see this? That way you don't have to worry about it. Well, 50-50 chance I put them in the wrong hole. I just wanted to do that so I could say it. Oh, the sticker on the W7. Yeah, you want to make sure to leave that. I mean, remove it. Well, I was going to talk about it. It's always that one thing. I mean, some people will take it off right away because they want to forget about it. I mean, it happens. I've done it. I'm guilty. I forgot to take the sticker off and I'm sitting there going, whoa, what tell me with the temperatures? And I'm like, oh, I know what to do. It's happened. It happens to the best of us. Be real careful of your precious little tracy tracers back here, okay? You just want to make sure these guys are seated. You know what I mean? It's like they're not gonna, you know, they're still locked in there on the bottom. And then you spend the next like 4 hours screwing these things in because they got to go all the way through. Right? Fast as possible, fast as possible. No, you want to be very careful with your builds. This one's getting stubborn. But I like to at least get like, you know, get at least 1 or 2 in, kitty corner or whatever you want to do. Just that way it keeps the back plate on. Thanks for hanging out today, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I like screwing with confidence. That's why you're Thermal Steve. Like this one got like the coating was real thick on it, so I'm just holding the back because I'm pushing on it too much where it's popping it out of the little locking guy, and then it won't, and then it starts free spinning, you know? That's all I'm just doing. Sometimes. Because you want these guys pretty secure, because this is what's going to be applying the pressure once you mount the block, and you want to make sure that you don't have a gap out issue with it. So I mean, these things don't have to be cranked down crazy tight, but you do want to make sure that they're definitely nice and snug. Oh dude, MP, what's up, baby? Love you, man. Miss you, bro. We're just hanging out. We're just building today. All right. Take a look, take a look. See? Got our 4 standoffs guys right in here. Here comes one of the most important parts of the build. No matter what it is, water block, whatever you're gonna do and everything like that. Most important. Most important. It's not the thermal paste. Well, I mean, I guess it's important, right? But the number one thing, this thing right here that says warning on it, you don't want that to be there when you put this stuff together. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just peel this guy off, because we don't want our little fancy, because it gets a nice, look at that, a nice little shine right there. Look at that. And then we got our little, so that we got our 4 little plastic dudes, and then we got our tension screws. We got our TG7 thermal paste. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. How do I do this? I don't know how to put thermal paste on, guys. No, I'm kidding. I like to use coffee filters a lot of times to clean the paste off. Coffee filters, amazing. We're just doing a basic X pattern. Works good for me. You could do the piece size or whatever you want to do, but I like to just get a nice little X in there. X marks the spot. Now we're going to take our water block with the warning thing removed. You'll thank me later. Kind of just give it like a little nudge, just to kind of get that stuff to, you know, spread a little bit. Not too crazy. Then we got our little washer guys. And really all that they do is they just make sure that it doesn't like core or like scratch up the top of your little bracket thing. Cause I mean, you know, if you want to take it out, put it in something else and use it again for whatever it would be, you got those options. I could, you know, just, you know, it would be funny if, you know, the CPU is so big you could spell your name, or you would need to, because that'd be kind of funny. Oh, you do the big dot in the middle with the little dots around it. That's cool. There's a lot of ways to do it. What is he saying? So what system do y'all use for your lives? Like my personal build at home? Or are you saying for like the stuff on the streams? Yeah, most of the time you're not gonna have a problem with the thermal paste as far as like, you know, how you would, as long as you get enough on there, but not too much, you're fine. And yeah, if you were asking about personal builds, I always love talking about that. So me personally, I am running a View 71 case. So I'm running the View 71 Snow, full tower, because I wanted the extra space. And I'm running a dual 360 radiator with a distro plate, D5 pump, and I got CPU and GPU cooling. Right now I'm on Z390 with an 8700K. It can do 5.3 at 1.32 volts V-core, which is like amazing, but I run it at like 5.0, 5.1, 24/7 because I don't see much of a benefit other than benchmark scores going above like 5.1, 5.2, 5.3. It's just like, I think the heat difference was probably about, oh man, probably about 15C, 20C, going up like 0.2 gigs. And then the other thing too is I delidded it. So then after I got my clock and everything and got, you know, got my chip and everything all situated and everything, took that bad boy out, popped the top, threw some liquid metal on there, dropped 16C. He dropped like 16C after I delidded it. And I was just like, phew. Yeah, I've had that build for probably about 2 years now. I'm running a 2080 on it, water blocked. I don't even have a Ti. I'm waiting on the, well, I mean, if you guys didn't see the news, but RTX 3080 Ti, January, buyer's remorse, 3080s, 3090s for that matter. What do you guys think? Kind of weird. I mean, you knew it was coming, right? You saw what they did with the last 2 series. Knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. I just didn't know if it was going to be a Ti or a Super or whatever it would be. And then the whole 20 gig rumor thing and all that stuff. Oh. Hey, thanks for the host, man. Was it Compass? Compass, oh, sorry. Thanks for the host, man. Oh, got another follow. Thanks, bro. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm just making sure these guys are just nice and tight. Nothing too crazy, but secure. So now we got, look at that. Got a RAM, CPU block, ready to go. M.2, under the heatsink. Board's real nice. It's got 2 slots for it, so you got 2 M.2 options there. Yeah, she's looking good. And always hang on to these. So these are the, you know, the stock brackets that came with the motherboard. Throw these guys back in a box or put them in a bag with all your stuff. You never know, you might need them in the future. Oh, stock backplate. You could sell that on eBay. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Give it to your friends that need it. You know, support your community. I'm always here if you guys ever need a bracket. You guys need a bracket for something from Thermaltake? Missing something? Something broke or whatever? Just hit me up, dude. Hit up Thermal Steve too. He likes those things. We got you. Got you. You are Steve. We you know, much love, Steve. Great to have you. Oh, so looking at 2070 Ti or 3070 Ti. I mean, money. I mean, when you think about it, as far as cost-wise and everything, performance, 3070 is just, wow. And for the price? You guys can see this part right here that's important. See that part right there? Got one of those. Got one of those. I figured there's a lot of people out there that are currently building a system or looking to build a system and they don't have a water block for their graphics card, but they want to do liquid cooling. So what's the next best thing? Let's set up for some CPU cooling only with an option to expand to water block or GPU down the road. Figured that would be a great idea for this nice little S300 right here. Okay, let's drop in, baby. Watch our cables, watch our cables. Right? Maybe we can take a look at that 3070 here in a minute. Good magnetic screwdriver really helps. Oh, this is Steve's 3070? Thermal Steve goes big. 3090 or bust, baby. Actually, 3080 Ti. He's waiting until January. He's a smart man. What do you guys think, dude? 3080 Ti in January? What do you guys think? Are you gonna wait? What's everybody gonna do? I want to wait. I think I'm gonna wait. Or are you gonna just go 3090 because it's just you just can't, you know? It's not too bad. I mean, as far as, you know, with the water cooling and everything, I mean, the hard tubing, I would say, takes it a step up. But I mean, as far as doing water block, I mean, AIO is a great option. I mean, you can't go really wrong with an AIO. Most of those things are fairly indestructible. They'll last you forever, no maintenance on it. But then DIY LCS, you know, opens the door to other options. You know, gives you an aesthetics look, of course, which everybody likes with the coolant and everything. But you also have the option for GPU cooling. And, you know, the GPU off of like an AIO GPU and everything, get a water block. AIOs are cool and all, but yeah, that's what a lot of people, yeah, I think that's what a good amount of people are going to do. They're going to just kind of wait and see what happens. Do you think a lot of people are going to buy 3080s when like stock comes in and then 3080 Ti is going to come out and everybody's going to be like, you know? Wonderful. See 3080 secondhand sales pop up sooner than later. I mean, they are kind of already are right now, you know, for that low price of twice as much. Yeah, you know they're going to be in there with the bots and all that stuff and everything. Oh, really? What AMD card are you looking to get there? What did you get processor wise? You going for the new 5000s or you got a 3000? It's so unfortunate, right? The one thing though, at least you can say it's a nice upgrade once you get your hands on one. I mean, it might be hard to buy today, but you know, a lot of people are not going to think about this in 6 months when hopefully stock comes in. 6 months, is that too early? Maybe it won't be that bad. All right. Get that nice close up at the top of the case there. Well, look at that. Whoa. All right. See, we're coming together here. We're coming together. Got our case all set up. We got our fans in the front, AIO. We got a radiator installed. We got our pump reservoir to put in, but let's get the rest of our fans put in the system. Oh, okay, 68 XT. Or 69. Dude, the 69, wow, that was a big surprise, right, from AMD? And then same with, like, well, I was saying before with the fans. So keeping that, the cable, keeping that in the right orientation, so that way we get a nice uniform of all the color rotations. And then, of course, for this, we're going to do exhaust out the top and out the back. Oh, View 31's a great case too. I really love building in that just the same. This is nice though. Yeah, 59 is a beast, dude. I mean, it can do it all. And I think that's what a lot more people are looking for. I mean, you know, you're gonna put this much budget into something. Don't you want it to do everything? I mean, if you want to use it for streaming, or you want to use it for multitasking stuff, or you want to just use it for some high-end gaming, you should be able to do all of it, right? A little fan cable action going down the side here, and we got a little dude. We just kind of pile everything nicely with all our spaghetti cables. We'll get to it. Go ahead and we'll plug our W7 in. Run this guy. Let's see what's going to be. Oh, you know what? I'll sneak it over here right behind EPS. So that way I can kind of, you know, just get it little right here. Just kind of ninja hide this guy right there. And just kind of EPS it. I mean, we can start connecting cables and everything, but let's get the rest of our fans in. Stay on target. Stay on target. All right. Okay. Let me see how I can do this. So then, as you can see, it's just, you know, you get a nice, this has got a nice little magnetic filter that goes over the top. And then with that, I can put the fans in here. And then it's got basically rows down here. And it even has it stamped here on the side. So like if you came in and you looked at the case, you know, as far as like what it is right there, it's probably like impossible to read. So, but you have both in like it says like F14 or F12 for either 120 or 140 fan. So it kind of gives you an idea of what, I mean, you can line up the slots and it makes sense. Steve loves his coffee. And again, like I'll put the fans in kitty corner, and then that way I can kind of line them up and everything. The other thing too is with the case is that it offers you basically, you got two options. So you can either do the fan here on this side, which is basically recessing it forward, or you have another row to kind of put it towards the back. But then with that, it kind of gives you some clearance. I mean, I'll show you. You won't see that the clearance is bad, but like, it really kind of depends on like how you'd set it up. Like say, for example, if you're going to do an AIO on the top, and you're going to do A on the top plus fans, you're going to want to offset that towards the glass versus towards the motherboard. So I'll give you that clearance in the back there for like the memory, as well as like, you know, getting that EPS in and stuff like that. And then the one thing that I would say I forget to do. Let me spin this around. So like you see the cables right here. So these particular cables, I'm going to make sure that before I put the second fan in and then the third fan, I want those cables routed through the back so that they're not like stuck when I butt the fans up against each other. I get a nice clean line of all the fans that way, or the cables that way. Dude, nice. I'm glad you like the H200. Real close. Real close right there. Oh, come on. I mean, I guess I could put just two in the top, but you are being stubborn. Oh. You know, when you take the last screw out of a fan, it's going to fall. See how this is like a dedicated hole for it versus like it's slotted. I'm just showing off the durability of our Thermaltake fans. Now I can make sure that my fan cables are passed through the back before I slide the other fan up against it. Dude, thanks so much, man. We're definitely trying to bring you guys more. Now that I basically got all three of them laid out, I'm just gonna, you know, get them secured down all the way. Because what you don't want that screw to kind of bump up, because when you go to put the filter back on the top, it'll have a little bump there. So that's why the other thing I like too is that these core screws, you know, they're nice, they're flat. Couple more, I promise. Steve does. He's the best. All right. Now we just got some more cables to wrangle, but shouldn't be too bad. Just gonna get these guys routed around the back here so we can. Ideally, I want them to just all come down this side because I got a good amount of cable length on them. I do them like 2 at a time, so I'm just not trying to do. There we go. 1, 2, 3, baby. And then, like I said, like especially with like these ARGB ones, just be real careful with that little connector. It's great that the connector's not huge, but at the same time, you know, you just go easy, go easy. Okay. Just kind of lay out my cables this way, so that way I just got cables in the front, cables in the back, and we, you know, business up front, party in the back. This is gonna be fun. All cable management will be done off live stream. We'll do all the cable management separately and should get later in a VOD. No, I'm just kidding. You know, we should start a petition to get Steve a 3080. But one thing that's important to think about is when we're talking about Thermal Steve, we got to go big because Thermal Steve goes big. So we'd have to bump that number up to a 3090 for Steve. But then he's probably gonna be like me and he's just gonna wait for the 3080 Ti. If and or when that happens. SLI, what's that? DirectX 12 says hi. Gotta love it. Has anybody run? I mean, I don't know too many people that have run a 3090 and SLI, let alone know if does it work with DirectX 12? I honestly don't know. Why is it got to be a petition? You know, do a GoFundMe. Stay positive about it. Oh, that's good. That's good. You guys are the best. Okay. We could do cables and run cables, but I think we'll run cables later. I want to get this guy out. I want to take a look at this guy. Granted, I've already taken a look at it, but let's take a look at this together. Would you guys like to see Thermaltake make a water block for the 3070 as well? Because I know we already got plans for the 80s and 90s. And stay tuned for that one. Oh, the TT dude? You know, sadly, our little TT dude, he's been pretty lonely. I've had this guy for a good bit. I think I got it actually, I'm trying to think, I think my boss gave it to me like many years ago, and he just kind of chills. He's been like all over my office. He's been sitting over there for like the longest time at my desk. He just hangs out with me. You know? Actually got, like, look, check this out. Look at this TT Apollo thing I got. Look how cool this is. You guys can kind of see. Look at the little shield and everything. Look, and he's in like this little, for back when they did the TT Apollo stuff. I love this thing. And then of course you have to have TT Dude sealed in the box. He's like Toy Story. He's still in the box. Look at that. I can't take this guy out. But I mean, I got a lot of fun little things, you know? Right here. See this? You know what this is? This was a pump reservoir. Well, this is the reservoir part. And I cut a 45 on it because I didn't want a top. I wanted to do my own tube on the top. So I just 45 cut this thing on a miter saw. Look at that. And then on the other end, for what I did with the pump reservoir, I sanded this and polished it and everything. It came out pretty awesome. But that became like a cool little piece of, you know, something to hang on to. Oh, here we go, baby. More of that anti-static noise. The static noise. Look at this, look at this. Broke the seal on it. Don't drop it. Oh my God, right? Man, they sure use some good foam in here. Look at this. Look at the thickness. This is thick. Good stuff. I want to water block this bad boy one day. Get some Thermaltake cooling up in here. Look at this guy. What do you guys think? It's pretty big, right? For 3070? Look at this guy. Nice triple fans on here. Now, the one thing I did notice with Gigabyte, at least, I haven't seen it from the others, but the way they do their design, their cards are longer because they actually have that little 12-pin connection on the PCB, but it's like here. And then this whole added is an extra add-on piece. And they actually on the inside have a connection that plugs into that off the PCB that runs to this little plastic housing that basically converts it to an 8 and a 6. So it's kind of interesting that they're going this route where the others are doing just like a straight connection off the PCB and doing it that way. It makes the card longer, but I guess it's not like it's ginormous at the same time. But it does make the card a little bit longer because I mean the card really only goes to here. And then all the rest of this is just a plastic add-on to do their little bracket thing for it. But yeah. Still pretty sexy. Okay. So I'm gonna rush ahead just so that I can show you guys kind of like, you know, like the complete build here because we're getting close on time. But because I'm gonna pick up on this on Thursday. So for Thursday, we're basically just gonna start where we left off and go through and do like all the hard tubing stuff and everything like that. Just nice and chill and come hang out, you know. We'll do some tube work and everything and get this guy all put together and stuff. I'll do all the, you know, I'll do all the annoying, painful stuff before I come back on stream so I don't have to do it on stream. You guys don't have to see it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, but I do want to talk about how this goes on as far as, you know, if you're going to go vertical or you're going to go standard with the PCI Express bracket. So like I said, this guy right here is rotatable. There's screws that you'll take out. And then once you remove those screws, this thing can be rotated so I could put the card in and like plug it into the motherboard directly. So you still have the option to plug it into the motherboard directly, but go vertical, baby. Gotta go vertical. So then I have these little vertical brackets that are right here. So this was on the vertical mount that you saw. And you saw that we added the little, oop, you didn't see that. We have a little brace that we added on here. So this is making it, you know, nice and solid. No card sag and all that junk, you know what I mean? So then we have our little bracket, riser cable. And we have a variety of different ones and everything. This is our TT Gaming riser cable. Pretty cheap, like 25 bucks. Then we got like, you know, other ones like the premium cables and everything. The premium ones are actually Gen 4. If it's a big deal, but they are Gen 4. And this one's Gen 3. Does not do Gen 4. I've tested it personally. But it still works with Gen 3, so it'd still work with your 3080, 3090 just fine. It's marginal performance, but you know, if it's something that bothers you, get a Gen 4 cable. At least we got both. Dude, you're not late, Ninja. It's all good, man. What up, bro? Welcome. And like I said, if you guys just jumping in here and you wanted to see what we talked about in the beginning of the build with the S300, video will be up on YouTube as well as on Twitch once we're done live streaming here today. And you guys can go back and see some stuff and fast forward through all the blah, blah, blah that I talked about, you know? Yeah, so we're gonna mount our riser cable to our bracket. With our bracket that we have here, it's got a little tab. So this little guy kind of drops down and locks in on the, you know, little brace, if I could get it back out. So you just wanna make sure that this part is gonna be the part facing towards the expansion slots. And then with your riser cable, because I know a lot of people put these on backwards, you're gonna wanna put this so it goes on the back side. So when the riser cable actually goes back in, the bracket's gonna be first, and then the riser cable is gonna be on the inside part of the case, if that makes sense. All right. $3070. It's a $3070. It's a 3000 card. Ah! So funny. I feel for you guys, including myself. I've been looking too. These are the same screws that you use for the motherboard, FYI. It's the little flat rounded ones that have the little like ringy dingy thing on the end. It's not like the coarse ones with like the bigger head on them. It's just those flat ones with a little ring on it. Same ones you put in the motherboard. Pretty standard. Because if you try to use the other ones with like the, you know, like the case screws or like what they look like as case screws and everything, it's gonna strip. You're not gonna like it because it's not gonna be fun getting it back out. We got our little riser. Okay. That's gonna go in there. TT Dude needs to watch too. He likes to see these things. He's my buddy. All right. Now there are different slots on here. So I mean, I don't know if you can really kind of see, but you have, what is it? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actual slots to space it out on, because you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was it 6 or 7? 1, 3, 6, 7. So it's 7 expansion slots out the back, but out of that you have 5 slots that you could use for vertical mounting. Most of the time for what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put the card as far forward as I can, or I guess as close to the glass as possible, because I have a good gap right here with it. I mean, it's not going to be where the fan's going to be up against the glass. That's not going to be the case. But the idea is that I want to have more space between the card and the motherboard so that I can just have the best airflow possible. Hopefully I got a good amount of intake coming in, as well as exhaust to kind of keep that heat trap or that hot part area or whatever you would call it, just, you know, mellow and everything. It's best case scenario. And with that being said, the case is also going to come with 2 of these brackets. Leave the other one in. It'll give it a nice little structure, like support for the bracket too. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm just gonna drop down the one side. Just be careful with your little riser cable thing. That's why I like to leave the little protector on there. Don't scratch my board or mess up my gold fingers. 'Cause I love gold. Good stuff. Let me see. There. So basically I have it put in on the farthest from the motherboard. And we're going to just snap in our riser cable just like that. And ideally for a lot of this stuff, people will use this for clearance, just to make sure everything's going to kind of clear, fit in. Maybe you've done some other things first or whatnot, but we're just going to kind of get the card in so we can kind of see for the most part a complete build. But ideally I'm going to be taking the card back out. I'm going to be taking the riser cable back out, and I'm going to run all my cable connections for all the front panel header, USB 3, HD audio pass through to the front, and all that other fun stuff, SATA cables if I have it, and get all that stuff run and done before I would, you know, go about like locking the card in and everything. But we'll deal with that later. I think for now, I just want to kind of see how the fitment is, because I've honestly, I mean, it was, most of the stuff was all brand new. I just kind of whipped it together. I mean, it's just kind of like, you know, when you guys build, you guys buy your stuff and everything like that, and you're doing it for the first time. I mean, I've built in this case a bunch, but everything's different, you know? So I'm just taking off the little, there's a little protective guy right here. It just kind of goes over the top. This kind of, I mean, it covers the hole, I guess would be the best way to explain it. So that way there's not like a big old hole part, you know, that would be, look, see how like how it exposed it is, right? And then now you can get to all the little thumb screws to be able to put, you know, graphic cards and other stuff like that in there. The other thing too is it allows you to be able to, with having the graphics card towards this part, you know, you do have some options to put something else here, secondary, you know, as far as something in the back, but it does limit you to like adding in other things like sound cards and multiple capture cards or stuff like that for streaming. So you might want to go traditional with it. But again, that's one of the best things I love about the S300 is that it gives you the options for both right out of the box. And it's not like some janky bracket third-party thing that attaches to whatever, and then it's not even like, you know, the connections and everything where you'd have to put the actual cable like in here and plug it in and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's cool that they have an option for that and everything, but it's nice when it's just built in, you know? And we've been doing this a lot actually with a variety of cases. This one specifically gives me some nice options. Okay, so I'll take my card, kind of mock up my card. I know it's going to be the two farther outer slots. I don't know why I did that and I knew that, but I guess I was just doing that to explain it. I don't know. Does the motherboard support PCIe 4? I think on the B450, I'd have to check. I think so. But again, like, you don't necessarily need PCI Express 4.0. It's not something that is going to make or break your 30 series graphics card. But ideally, you want to have, you know, the performance. But I mean, there's been a lot of people that have done reviews on it and everything, and they've been just going ham talking about it because it's been a big thing everybody's been wanting to know. Do I need to upgrade? Do I need to upgrade? What do I need to upgrade? How do I get it? Is it ready? How's it ready? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have talked about that stuff too. You know, put your concerns across with it. But it's all good. It's all good. So we got our bracket off, got our pass-through dudes out of here. So we can just take our card now. We can just drop it in. So we have our card. Now you're going to want to line it up with the little prongs on the bottom. And then of course, you know, you got to watch those gold fingers. It's too powerful, it won't fit. No, it's these little... Sometimes the little fork bracket guys in the front, they get a little bent, a little weird, and they won't. Huh. There we go. See? That way you guys can see an idea of what the card's going to look like in the case. It's close. with the 3070, especially with this one from Gigabyte, because this one has the extension on it. I mean, it's a good 2.5 inches because they added the additional power conversion for the side for the 8 and the 6 that you would have off of there. But I mean, as you can see right here where the radiator starts and the graphics card ends, you know what I mean? It's real close right here. But the advantage of this going vertical is that it's offset now. So it's farther out. So you don't have a clearance problem with this back here. I mean, you got actually a good amount of space. Now, if you put the card in traditionally and you plugged it into the motherboard, this might be really close. I might actually be seeing where the coolers, I mean, from just like eyeballing and looking at it, it's going to touch. The fan housing on just the outer side right there is going to more or less be kind of butted up against the fan if you're going to be plugging it directly into the motherboard. So always make sure that you check out the specs on the case, because like with Thermaltake and all our chassis that we have, all of our technical specs will have like the clearance stuff, you know, little fine details at the bottom. And we're going to put in there what the CPU cooler limitation is, or the maximum is going to be. Same with GPU length maximum. And width is also another thing that we've been talking about now that vertical's been a deal. So we've been talking about GPU width as well, as far as compatibility, as well as length. And then I'm trying to think what other things that we have on there. A power supply length. So there's a couple little details down there, and they'll show basically what your dimensions are as far as, you know, how long or how big of a card is, and then whatever card you plan to buy, especially nowadays where everybody's just kind of like, I just need to get one of them. It's something to consider when you're looking at, you know, a variety of different cards and the different sizes that they're going to have. You know, the look, the brand that you want, stuff like that. Just make sure everything kind of works. Because, I mean, you know, your case is your foundation. You know, this is what's going to be your limit, or this is going to be what your options are going to be, depending on how you look at it as far as what the case is going to offer. And you want to make sure that with what you're ending up and you're going to be putting in here, you don't want to have a scenario where you've gotten this far and then the graphics card won't plug in because it's hitting a radiator, or just the way you would have certain things mounted and stuff like that. You'd have stuff to think about, you know, and I hope this kind of stuff I can pass this through to you guys when you're thinking about it. If it's this case or another case or whatever, those little details are important. I mean, I was writing those details for a bit here with Thermaltake, so you make sure you pay attention to what I wrote. No, I'm kidding. I do spec out a lot of this stuff and everything, and it's great. You know, you got to get hands-on with this stuff. You know, they want to know if it works. That's what we're here for. And then here on Thermaltake Live, we're here to show you guys. I'm just going to put one screw in now for safety, just in case the graphic card decides to jump out of here, right? Because that's what you guys would be like, oh, the graphics card's going to fall out. So then we can get our nice little cover plate back up on here. Into somebody's trunk, right? Oh, stream's over. See you guys. I'm gonna take this home. And I mean, you know, the sad part about it, I mean, I don't know if it's a sad part because it's a great thing, right? But it's like my system at home has been doing great for what I do. I have no complaints about it. I love my system at home, but I've had it for a couple of years now. You know, been itching to upgrade. And I mean, even something like this, 3070. I mean, most of the times when I do it, I'm not rolling 70s. I'm usually 80s been like my thing. I did the 70s for a bit. 980 Ti's, oof, sweet spot. 1080 Ti's. I didn't go 2080 Ti because I got a great deal on a 2080 at the time, and then I had water block for it, so that worked out, right? But that was always just that thing. I was just like, I should have got the 2080 Ti this whole time. But I've been hanging with my 2080, and it's been great. And then you look at like this, 3070, $500, and this thing beats a 2080 Ti. I mean, it's a nice card. Curious to see more about what we can do with this LCGS as far as, you know, our liquid cooled gaming systems, to do something sweet with the 3070s as well as we already have 80s and 90s. They're already in stock. You could buy it right now. And I mean, even finding systems right now is hard, let alone just the card. You can't, Steve. I actually have a slower card than you do. So you can't get mad at me. Oh, baby. So yeah, so basically we've put together the hardware, kind of explained it along the way, so it took some time, but wanted to talk about stuff with the case, not just building it and everything, and you guys just listen to, you know, me rambling about certain things and all that stuff. Granted, that's what I did, but here in the Snow Edition S300 by Thermaltake. DIY liquid cooled for the CPU, and we'll be ready to liquid cool the graphics card later once a water block becomes available for 3070s or 3080s or 90s or whatever you end up doing, 6800 XTs or 69 XTs. We'll have to check to see the fitment stuff like that on there. But again, you know, for a nice mid-tower chassis, price point on this thing's amazing. And then this is a mid-tower version. If it's not going to accommodate for you, for what you're looking for, we have an S500, both in black as well as snow like this. And that's going to be a little bit bigger. It's going to give you a top chamber, so you can run a second 360 rad across the top. You could do a nice 360 distro then at that point, or even do like a dual radiator with a distro then with the 500, but it's bigger, right? So it's just a give and a take as far as what kind of space and everything that you want. You're still going to get the same frames. You know what I mean? It's just how you're going to do your cooling and what you want your aesthetics to look like. You know, how you want to break your stuff up. And TT guy approves, right? He's my buddy. He's going to probably be hanging out for a bit. He's cool. He's cool. I like how he's magnetic too. So, you know, if he wants to look down at my cable management, he can. Nice little add-on here. See, dude, he's digging the vertical mounting, right? 3070. 3600 XT. I mean, it's a good little build. I mean, this right here put together in a couple hours. I mean, we have to do the liquid cooling, the tube work and stuff, but honestly, that's not all that bad. I mean, the cable management, I'm going to say, is going to be harder than tube work, but I've done a lot of tube work, so that could be another thing, you know? But either way. Oh. Stream still up? I feel like I lost my, you can hear me, but what, did the video drop? Yeah, like froze right there. Hold on. Cause see, I'm not sure what happened, but at least it happened towards the end there. But here you go. S300 Snow. Got some progress with it. Yeah, I'll have to check, see what's going on. At least I switched inputs, so I have this working and everything. Let me see, let me go back. Huh. I mean, it's like, it's there, but it almost kind of looked like it froze. Maybe something in particular, but either way, I think we got some good progress today on our S300. Stay tuned for Thursday as we go forward with this build and we do some fun little liquid cooling. Maybe we'll do some cool little swirly loop-de-loops in here. You know, we'll figure something out. But thanks again for watching. Appreciate you guys following us here on Thermaltake Live on Twitch, as well as like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and everything. And yeah, we'll see you guys back on Thursday for more with building in the S300. Till then, you guys have a nice chill Tuesday, and we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys.